not the right thing at all. It moved. I think we're all set. We had our advisory committee meeting on Saturday where people from businesses and stuff come and get together, say what we should do and things like that. And we were looking at some numbers, and did you guys know that across the nation, the average drop rate for intro to programming courses is 20%. And we are right there at 20%. So that's 1 out of 5 people that get lost is in that intro class. So you guys should really give yourself a pat on the back. You're finishing up, getting almost done. It's tough. It'll be worth it. Yes, sir?
To potentially give that 20% a bit more of a meaningful impact. Can you tell us, is that a high drop rate or a low drop rate?
It's an average drop rate across the country. That's what's really weird. So Dr. Ford actually can tell you a whole bunch about it because she did her doctoral dissertation on that topic.
That's not what I meant. Like compared to other subjects.
It's very high compared to other subjects. But you know, I mean, I don't know because I don't do a lot of research into like theater drop rates and stuff like that. But it's a concern. 1 out of 5 seems like a lot of people. But I don't know if you start looking at chemistry and like going into medical school, maybe it's just more average. Maybe we need to check into that. It's a wonderful question. It seems high though. It seems like you guys got really good because you lose something all the time. And a lot of it is not like just not getting the subject. Some of it is like, you know, family things happen and just stuff happens, so it can be hard on people. So at this point, we're just showing what we've got or what problems we have run into that have kept us from progressing the whole way, because some of your problems that you guys have run into are going to be super helpful to your classmates to know what you've encountered and what you've done and how you're going to progress now, because some things we just get into a bad spot. So let's just look at those. So let's see. This is a great list of people, but it's not you guys. So let me print again. This looks better. Let's see. Last time Tuesday. It started in the middle. So let's start with Study Group 2. That's Tyler, Austin, Seth, Cohen, and was he? I thought he was here. get my grade.
You say group 2 first?
Mhm.
I'll go first.
It's okay, Cohen, you can show us what's going on and everybody will help you figure it out. That's what we want to do.
Did you just like go in front of me?
Yep.
Okay.
Hang on for me for a second. So we're looking at one. 15 3 table. Sure. You might be able to copy it to run that on your phone, but I can go to personal Google Drive from the OneDrive. Yeah, so like, I was the Google Drive and OneDrive apps installed, because I had to do that before the print thing, that staples or whatever, I have to go from one to the other. Okay, the monitor is on. So the other's not being able to download from Google Drive or what was the other one you tried?
Oh, I wonder, that's where I had it, like, Google Drive.
On Google Drive?
Yeah, I tried it.
Oh, you did, you just tried all sorts of different web browsers.
Yeah.
So let me know if you're having trouble. Because Cole's having weird trouble with TFS connections. So we might have to report something to the IT people if we are having issues. I gotta get my grade book open so I can get Tyler extra points for sitting here and waiting for so long. Okay, so
Ready?
you went that.
Okay, so this is my XML page. I didn't make it in here, and I had some like weird troubleshooting when I was trying to like add the file. Like if you click here and add the item, it adds it to there, but I was doing it here, and it was adding it into here for some reason. I don't know if it would have worked or not, but I just made it how her example was. So here is my form. I just changed it so it just says the title. Colton just helped me with that. It used to say like all the different stuff about them with commas in between them all, probably like a lot of other people's do. And then when you check them out, I added how many books you have checked out right here. And then when there's no copies left, it tells you that. So you can check out all of them. If you check it back in, it tells you thank you. Yeah, this works. And I really followed close to the example. Like this is identical, just different words in there. Another problem I had was when I was trying to put in the number of copies. Like I didn't have this int.parse right here, and it was spitting me an error. And I spent a lot longer than I probably should have trying to figure out how to solve that. I kept trying to put the .to string afterwards, and that wasn't it. But yeah, other than that, it's pretty simple. I think the 2 button clicks is the only thing that really went off of her example. But yeah, any questions about how I did anything?
What a
Oh yeah, I didn't change them. I always just
I
put.
know.
I always just do like a little comment right after it and just put like what's going on there.
I'm a programmer and you need to give me 2,000 lines of code. You have button 1 through 10. How am I supposed to figure out which one does what? How much do I hate you at that point? A whole lot.
What would be a better? Just put like BTN and then put what you want to name it or whatnot.
Yes, something meaningful.
I gotcha.
Button submit or button cancel or something meaningful. All of your form fields. So,
And I do that like where right down.
but when you don't want to right now, 'cause it's a little late.
Right, but I mean if I was, it'd be right here.
Yeah, your name.
Okay.
And so, like, I always sort alphabetically so that name will be up at the top. But if you leave it sorted in categories like that, it's gonna be down there in the middle. But if you went through and you put everything on your form, and then you just clicked in that name field and selected each item, it would stay in the name field, and you could just give them all a name if you were done. So a lot of people like to do it that way, try to name all of their form fields as they finish up.
I was also gonna make it where when you check out the books, you could only check out like, whoops. If you check out the books, you could only check out, say, 2 copies because they started with 2. But I didn't get that far. I saw in the examples it said you'd have to go like farther into it or something.
What do you guys think? Questions? Your hand? I hadn't said anything to Tyler before about his games at all. Just thought it was always awesome. So I thought maybe you could take it.
It's always faces.
I figured you could handle it.
Oh, you mean yeah, like where you want to do. Yeah, I'll just put up there.
All right.
How come my dashboard is like super ugly and just says you have 12,000 things to grade? It's not all pretty like this at all.
Okay, so mine's not working. So my error I'm getting is right here on this line, and you'll see it in a second. Yep. And that's where I got stuck at because I can't populate my fields without that line. So, but I have no clue because like I went through the debug and everything's set up. Every time it's completely, every field's populated. And I'm not sure. I mean, I get what the error is saying. It's just.
Look at, is there anything under the, if you do view details? Anything helpful? Do you have to string method?
Yeah, I have a 2-string method set up that returns the title and the author. And yeah. That's not my book. That's not my XML.
You go to your form design, did you finish this color code?
List book, yeah.
Scroll up a little bit.
Hold up, I gotta kill it first, but yeah. Name is, yeah, I have alphabetical. Yeah, list book.
Scroll up a little bit.
Then list book. Yeah, that's all. It's like you can even, if you hover over it, IntelliSense recognizes it as an object variable. It recognizes it.
What is your XML file look like?
Book.
Putting your book, initialize the book there, put that in your main page along with
What do you mean?
where you put book, my book equals new
Mm.
I put everything you have log low.
That's in, yeah. That is in the load, yeah.
Do you have a form load at all going on? Maybe because of that. No, mine is.
You're right.
Form one load.
Yeah.
You don't have to initialize. You have to double click on the form. Copy.
Well, no, that should be. Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah.
Oh, great.
This is gone too. How did I do that?
So you just gotta
Where'd it
replace all
go?
that with the initialized component.
Yeah, and then move
Yeah,
down to the.
that is in my
Flip
field.
flop.
Yeah, where? What? Well, no, this because it should work in this here. It shouldn't need to be in the form load. But that, yep. Yeah. How did I delete? Yeah.
You would not have found that.
Okay. Yeah. But yeah, that's where I got stuck because I couldn't, you can't read things off of a list box if you don't have things in the list box. So
You can't have a list box if you haven't initialized your.
yeah, if you can't, yeah, if you,
Like that was super hard to find on your own. Very good. Okay, who's next?
okay. Where's messages?
Okay, so I forgot to read this whole thing. I only read this top part. So I didn't see that there was a UML down here that we should follow. And I missed these ones here. But I still got it to work for the most part. I kept it about the same as our in-class example. Except for in mine, I have it where it just shows the name of the books here instead of having it all listed out. I did that by having the list books, the list box just have the title, and then I made a array list to hold all of the book objects. And then down here, whenever we are checking stuff out, I use the where is it? I made another another array to hold all of my checked out books. And I made it the size of the array list that I made that holds all the book objects so that I can keep track of what books are checked out and how many are checked out. And I just add and remove from them based on that. Yeah. That way you can never check out more books than what are in the copies. And it says no more. You can only check back in for. So I pretty much just keep an array to hold the books that you'd have checked in and out. And that's pretty much it, I guess. Any questions? And then I have this due date here as well, which this just adds 2 weeks. Any questions, comments?
Yeah.
Yes.
Did you edit the original files or
The original files?
but not the original XML files, or do you just keep them the same?
I keep them the same. I edit the copies here. I'm pretty sure. Yeah. I might. That's a good question, actually. I need to look at that.
Because I think it would be easier to
The XML.
keep track of it.
Mm-hmm. That's a good point.
Makes sense for the database.
Right. That's a good point.
Okay, so I have a couple people left. In this group. Yeah, that'd be great.
So was it not in like the assignment where it has to save on it? Do we have to save the XML file? when we
You should be
edit it?
saving the XML file. Yes. Okay, are either of you guys gonna go? Yeah, I'm ready. Are you sure? Everything will be really nice. They're really nice. They're not mean. It is. You'd be really nice. They're not that. They're not mean. Yeah. Well, let's go then to group 3. And that one is Fulton and Clint, David and Michael. And me.
All right, so here's pretty much my form. I think one of the few things I did different is I did all my loading of my XML and like writing out a new XML in a different class just because I didn't want one big long file. One of the things I tried was reading the XML file from like adding it to the resources, but I found I could read from it, but I couldn't write back to it. I'm still trying to figure out that part, so I didn't have to mess with making sure I always had the XML file saved. But it runs, and if you click on it, updates it. You can only check out and check in the actual amount, and it'll save on close. Yeah, I want to save it. So if I relaunch it, when I go back to it, not that one, it still has 2 in and 2 out. I made all my files read only because I didn't think people needed to edit the names in this. I didn't think it was in that scope. But other than that, that's loading in my XML and my book class to accommodate for like keeping track of the copies in and copies out. I added a copies in and copies out field, I guess, and then there's is copy available, and then the functions to check a book in and out. And then in my actual form classes where I did some of the logic to make sure you couldn't check out more than you had by disabling the buttons. Any questions?
That was awesome. Wow. Here, here.
All right, this is mine. Think everything's working about like it should. You can check out. It says when to return the book. The copies go down, and you can check it back in. Copies go back up. To check out the book, call the is copy available method, and then the that just returns true or false. And then it calls checkout book from the book class. And all that does is subtract 1 from copies available, and it returns the date. And then I also did a method just in the form to return the book. It just adds 1 and checks to make sure that you're not returning more books than the library owns. Other than that, I pretty much just followed pretty close to the example. I think that's it.
Did you have yours saving either?
No, it doesn't write to the XML.
Really nice book class. Really nice. Questions? Any? Great job.
I got mine just similar to everybody, but I have this part on because I just for some reason I just can't do the math if I don't have this part right here. All those copies and stuff, so I have to save them on the my constructors and getters and setters in this area. So I have to do that. For some reason I have to do plus and not adding +1 here, so it's kind of repetitive. I don't know how to, I probably don't know how the other way to do it, but it's just too much repetitive right there. And the same thing happened here, that over there, and this one, this, and then on my book CS I just have this part here and the checkout and check in. So I've started. So I have this one right here, I have the availability too. So true. All of them goes to true because they have enough copies. So if I check this out and then check out again, it gives me this. And then I check in. So it have the copies. Oh, probably didn't change this part, but then I have this area. So that's pretty much it.
Is yours saving either?
Save the what?
The XML file?
No, because I believe that I was thinking about it. I believe that we're gonna do some database, connecting to database. So I did not go too deep to it. So I think only need that. But yours was really nice because it saves. You know, when you close the program, it just flows through there. But yeah, I just did that. That's it. That's my code.
Maybe we'll just have to make it into a database table where you all have to update it.
Yes, that will be great.
Stand behind you all over it. Where's your update?
Yeah.
Well, mine, I just
Good
thought
job.
it'd be easier to close on exit.
That's a great way to do it. So Colton had some other things in there that we need to talk about too before we move on, because I didn't do that while he was up there. He mentioned that he tried to put his XML file into his resources. What other kinds of things did you guys do to handle TFS not? I'm going to check in that XML file if it's in your bin debug, and how did you keep track of it?
What? Are you in the first?
Yeah. That's my problem.
Uh-huh.
It's like I was gonna get nice.
So you just created it. So I see what Cole's saying, putting it in the resources
Oh,
folder would make it.
we're saying that. Oh no.
So that's an option. A lot of times when we're reading an XML file though, it's gonna be real dynamic. So it might not be something that we have an opportunity to put in the resources file, but maybe we could load it into the resources file at the beginning of our program. That's such a good
When I
idea.
was reading like last night trying to figure out how I would do it, they said it would actually be more easier to convert it to like just an actual they consider our resource file that has deleted it and convert it to that and go from there. But then I said I told myself it's way too far. I will
Got at it. I don't like it. Yeah, it seems like it's getting kind of far. Because I would see an XML file as something dynamic, like, here, programmer, I just got this XML file. Will you please run a report listing everything that's in it, or use it to load this database or whatever. So it's usually kind of a dynamic sort of thing. And I think that's a really, really good thought. Keep thinking about things like that, because as we get into our database section, we're going to have more files that give us issues like that don't go along with our source code. So important thing. All right, sorry, sir. Go ahead.
All right. So what happened with my project was I actually uploaded to Google Drive, but I couldn't download it back here. So I'm just using what I turned in last night on the, what was it called? On this. Yeah. So I took only like 2 screenshots because like I didn't think I would have to like, you know, do this. And I'm never gonna use Google Drive to like upload files and like downloading again. So I'm just gonna use OneDrive because like, you know, I don't want to do this again. This looks kind of sad. Okay, this is actually my Forms 1 CS, but like, I mean, you can probably imagine what the form looks like from here, you know. And on my copies, I just subtracted 1 from, you know, like number of copies available, but I did not make it so like, you know, like you cannot like check out more than you have to, or like more than available, because I actually wanted to do it. I never wanted to do it like anything that badly, but it was like 2, I think, so I just had to go to sleep. but I wanted to do it, but I didn't do it. So I'm gonna do it today for sure. This is my check-in. It just compares like the due date. Just compares the due date and the today's time. Like if it's like, greater than today's date, they'll be penalized. And if it's like, less than, like they just say, thanks for returning it, dude, And it's just like, this is my book class. And I should probably like update this to like a little bit nicer than that, but I didn't do that either. But I should. And did I do? Yeah, checkout. Yeah, this is what I mean. It all looks like kind of like messed up because 4 pages. And I should make my list look a little bit better, like I said down there. Like it looks like garbage right now because like everything is like printed there. So when you select just like the book title or something. So when you check out a book, it just like subtracts from the number of copies, and like it just prints out the due date. And if it's not returned, you'll be penalized. That's what the. All right. So yeah, that's about it. I mean, check-in also works, but I don't have to show you guys there. So So all right. I mean, that's about it.
All right. Pretty much got everything up and running, the basic stuff. Here's my XML file. Let's go to 10. I just follow the example really closely, so it all should look really similar. This part did give me a lot of trouble as well, trying to make that an int. And I think I did that right, where it updates the XML file. I did do that, if it is working. It didn't give me any errors, so. My class, and yeah, you got my data fields, public properties and whatnot. My methods, let's run it. Everything should work. Select the title, displays it all there. Check it back in. Yeah. Yep, pretty much it. Cool. Any questions?
You rewrite the file each time I check out?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. It's a small file.
Yeah.
Everybody's just done so good. Okay, group 4 we have Joey, Hunter, Noah, and Taylor is on the Zoom session. So if you guys want to let him go, you might want to get off the Zoom session. Taylor says give us just to him also.
You said no mic though.
Okay. So I'm gonna tell him he can chat. Oh, that was good. I didn't hear me either, so I don't know my. Get that here in a second.
His work's fully.
You could just put it there, couldn't you? Your message, oh, your message box? Yeah, I think there's like a parameter for your default location where it's like center of screen. Did you have one pop up? I didn't even see it. Just ask him in the chat if he stores the updated file. That's what you can. I don't think so.
Oh.
Okay.
I get it. Now I know.
He's got the methods in the class, so I think that's good. Okay. I'm going to tell him to chat. Anybody have any questions for that silent visual? I got it. So let's go on to our next person.
So mine is a little different so far from everybody else's. I actually decided to organize my app by books, check it, that's are in the database here, and books that have been checked out. And so whenever you check out a book, it creates a new checked out book object here, and also gives it a due date, which you can add days here. And if you go beyond it, it will tell you what your fee is. And so you can, it will also not give you copies if it doesn't have any more. And so, yep, all of this works. So I guess the biggest difference from everybody else's is I actually created a checked out books class, and all it holds is the title, author, subject, ISBN number, which I use, which I compare to each book in the list to see if it which book it is, to check it in. And I've been trying to get the search thing to work, but it's not filtering right now. I'm not sure. Oh, well, now it's just straight up not working.
So are you saving
Oh wait, no, it is working, but
for those checked out books?
Hmm?
Are you saving additional XML elements for those checked out?
that's the other thing I didn't figure out. I couldn't figure out how to use any of the write XML documents, and if I did, then I would have recorded those things down, but for now they're just separate and the document just stays the same. So would anyone have any questions, comments?
How long did that take you?
I'm sorry, what?
How long did that take you?
I stayed up till 11:30 and I started at around 6 o'clock. A lot of it was just brainstorming.
Before that time?
Huh?
Did you work on it before that time?
Yeah, I did. It's just, maybe.
Very nice, doesn't it? Really good, thank
Probably
you.
stands on time. Thank you, Len.
Thanks, no, I give my hand.
Miss Riley, did you say in class, or did you like post something else saying we were supposed to save the XML, or where did you say that at?
I didn't even say that, it's in the example code I gave you.
I saw an example, but I was reading.
And when we looked at the example in our 2 seconds or less, I said, you'll notice here, it's rewrite that XML file.
It's not on the requirement. So whenever you check in, whenever you post it, you override that file, or if you.
That's what I did in my example, and I told you guys if you found the XML document class and used it, you would be able to dynamically update just that individual element instead of rewriting the whole XML file like I did. But it's much more complicated to access the XML
We should
document.
override that. Then you can create more potential.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, these ones, as you get more and more into your advanced stuff, you guys will have more and more options to do your own design and do it the way you like. Yeah, right. He's red.
Oh no, not this one. Here. Okay, so I think I should should run the program first before I do the presentation. So
After seeing other people presentate, I just realized that if we cannot edit these, we shouldn't make it text box. It looks weird. And for these, I'm not sure if you want me to show everything or just a name. So I just put everything in here. But it will load to the box, and whenever you check out, if you don't have anything, it'll say, what? Okay, yeah. Check out and check out. It will create the number, increase the number of checkout and decrease the number of copies, and see, it'll show you the date to return, which is 14 days from today, and whenever you check in. Okay, but let me show. If we're out of book, it won't allow you to check out also. So it won't. And when it do the same thing, when you check in and it reach its maximum book, it won't allow you to check in also. Like that. Okay. So I think my code is basically the same with people, the other people. But I do have here for the oh yeah, I think I do opposites to people. So the other does these and this as a number, but I just do it as string and I convert to number down here later. So just reverse process. And for my check-in option section, I got the check if it's over due date or it's not. If it's over, it'll show you, sorry, have to charge you $1 per day. And I do also have this to check on that. How's it gonna look like if we turn it in late? So I'm gonna do this. So basically, I just set the due date is 30 days before today to see how it's gonna be when we check out late. I mean, check in late. So check out, and then when we check in, it will say they have to charge you 30 days for the late return of 30 days, and say you the due date that you're supposed to return it. Okay, I think that's pretty much. Any questions? Okay, thank you.
Good. Great. You guys gonna give him the book back or
One half any question? I stay up to 3.
We have our last two here. While you guys are listening to me, I just re-evaluated that assignment and it does not say that you need to update. Even though the example I gave you does. So we will give our updating people extra credit. So on them.
That was just and I was like, where does it
It
say?
doesn't say you
Like,
need to anywhere.
Those periods like to close it with the best part.
But I mean, in the past, my God, I've had people spend like, they've stayed up for days getting that file to update, and it doesn't say you need to update it. So you guys should just more adept. So yeah, no point loss if you did not update. It will give them extra credit. Sorry, Joe, go ahead.
You're good. So mine does not update.
Underachievers.
But mine has a list box showing the books up here. You can click on them and it'll tell you how many numbers are available and how many are checked out. If I check out all of them here, it actually switches that just to know. And if you try to check out when there's the maximum checked out, it'll have a little message box popped up. And I looked into centering it, and the code is ridiculous to center it on the list. Yeah. Yeah. But other than that, you can check it back in. And it gives you the due date here at the bottom. And mine doesn't do anything with like late fees or anything like that. Other than that, mine looks pretty similar to everybody else's here. I did add a little like status label at the bottom. You like the way he added his time together? I was searching up how to add dates together, and I found the time span. So
Time span is very useful if you want to show everybody that. You can do that.
Yeah.
Because we've done a little with dates and you do a little jumping around, but there's so much power with the C# date classes.
Mm-hmm.
See, I just use date time. I didn't even know
Yeah.
that time span.
It's really helpful because then you could save the 14 days as its own little thing.
This one is great. What are you auditing forever?
This one is days, and then you have hours, minutes, seconds,
Oh.
and then you can keep it going and do months, years, and oh yeah, weeks, months. I think that's how it works.
Super powerful.
So is there any difference between, any major difference between time span and date time that you,
Like daytime, you can like it gives you the date.
Yeah.
Like there's your date. The time span is just like a length of time.
Oh.
It's like this is saying that it's 14 days. It's not giving you an actual date.
That would have saved me a lot.
Yeah, it took me a while to find this, but in all the examples I found, it only went up to the hour. And I was like, if I add another comma, does it go up to the days? And it ended up working, so. Yeah, and here's my book class. Wait, is this the actual? Yeah. Okay, so I did not realize that you had to go in and actually change the list box index to -1, or not to -1, but like actually link it up. So I was having a bunch of troubles with the
Can you show everybody, because that was like first semester stuff. So
selected index change.
what Hunter was running into is, he had his code created for selected index change.
Yeah.
But it wasn't running that code when you clicked on his list box. So can you remind everybody what you had to do for that?
Yeah, I had to go in to the design and go to the selected index change in the behavior and actually set that up to the method for the index change.
So what happened, you probably coded that event from looking at that example without double clicking on it. That's the bad part of looking at a sample.
So yeah, mine creates the list box with all of the titles in it, but right now the index is all messed up because I haven't actually gotten a chance to look at it now that it's actually fixed. But yeah, it has the switch statement that reads in the file. It doesn't write and save it to the file. But yeah, that is where I've gotten so far. I still have some work to do on it, so I'm gonna go home and work on that. Oh, and I added in the copy available method. I just don't know if it works yet because I need to actually set it all up. But yeah, it sets it to false if it if the number of copies is less than 0, and true if it is the other way around.
Any questions?
Very cool. Give him a hand. Yay. Share my screen here. So Wednesday we have written exam, and you're gonna do your practice exam because it says it's an interpret. It's really just like one unit, and then let's look at your hand. That's what I wanted to do. Okay, this one is really good, and this is kind of one of those ones like the slot machine that I'll have you guys turn it in, and I'll be grading your code, and we'll create a file of EXEs or load them to Discord so that we can try each other's project. So this is going to be the parking garage, and I kind of implied that we would be doing this when we were talking about those bid arrays. So you don't have to use a bid array, but remember a bid array might be a good way to keep track of 25 parking spaces as to whether they're being used or not, but you might decide that you're going to use something else. So your form, it says, should simulate the parking garage arm system. The user should indicate they wish to enter the parking garage. A ticket will be issued to the user. The form should also have a way for the user to indicate they wish to leave the parking garage, at which time a fee will be assessed based on how long they have parked. Boy, Joey just saved you with that timestamp thing, didn't he? So we want to know how long they have parked, and fees should be assessed as follows. So this is kind of complicated if statement logic. $2 minimum for up to 3 hours. Additional 50 cents for each hour after the 3. Maximum of $10 for any 24-hour period. So decide how you want to do that. And they say assume no car parks longer than 24 hours, so you don't need to accommodate a car that's there for more than that amount of time. There's only 25 spaces in your garage, so if they're all full, you're going to issue a a ticket that says the garage is full. Now, in addition, this form should also keep track of all tickets that have been issued, and the user should be able to see this upon demand. You can keep this on the main part of the form or make it something that pops up on request or in a separate tab. So we want to be able to save all the current tickets as an XML file. So I'm going to let you decide how you want to interpret those instructions, because there's a lot of different ways that you could interpret that, definitely. So make a parking garage. There was one for sale in Kansas City a few years ago. I sure did want to buy it. The one near my daughter's house in New Orleans, when she first moved down there, has about 500 spaces, is $20 a night, and is full almost every night. So how much are they making every night? $4,000 or so, just for not doing anything, just for sitting there. So parking garage, yay, good way to make money. The one in Kansas City was just like an empty lot. And it was one of those serve yourself things where you've got a spot and then you shove $5 into the little box. And I saw someone come one time and empty out the little box, and there was money pouring out. I want to park this. I want to park this. Business. Okay, so this one is due when I need to fix our due date.
The test is Wednesday.
The test is this Wednesday. Right now, I have your hands-on to the following Tuesday. On Monday of that week, we're going to be starting with database stuff. So you have until Tuesday night to get this done, but try not to leave it hanging because you'll want to get started on the database stuff right away.
This Friday. Next Monday is the 14th.
Oh, or we have, is that the day we have off?
I think so, the 14th and the
So
15th.
let's say
wasn't it?
that's due then on the 16th. Yeah, that's why you're saying Wednesday. Yes. Yeah, let's do it. I know, we need it. Okay, thank you guys. We'll say that's due the 16th. That's going to give you some time to get that one done over the break. Don't forget about it. Oh, you're great, Clara. I think that's it. Any questions?
Is it a bad idea to update your XML file every time you check a book out?
No, I think that's okay with that little teeny XML file. I think they can-
That's what I'm attempting right now, and I don't know if
All right, here's
I just follow her example only.
Wednesday we'll have our exam and now see it. So you can get out of here.
Let's change the. It's not lazy.
Have a great week, guys.
Performance-wise, how many differences would it make if we attempted to change, like update just that current spot versus rewriting the whole file at the end? Was it